Hey guys, welcome to another Spot video. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a brake fluid reservoir change on an S1000R. The one that we have right now, it's white. It doesn't look the best to be honest, and it's a bit wobbly. So we sourced one from an M1000R. It looks nicer and it holds on to the bar. You can also hang it onto the one that exists, but because it's a bit wobbly, I'd rather have this one. It's more secure and it looks better to be honest. And we're gonna also do a brake fluid bleed. We're gonna change all the brake fluid by bleeding the whole system. I'm gonna show you the whole process from A to Z. For the tools that we need for this job, mainly you just need 10, 12 millimeter inches. A full one should be enough to do the whole bleed. A clear hose also to make sure that all the bubbles go out while doing the job. I think you need like a 10, an 8 wrench also, just so that you can tighten these up. And that's it. And of course, the bike keys. So come along and we'll go down to the bike right now to start the process.
And we made it to the bike. To explain the reason why I'm doing this change is, first of all, aesthetically does not look the best. Second is because see how wobbly it is? Now I made sure that the screw is tight, but it's still wobbly. So to fix it, I would have to add an O-ring. So my solution is change the whole thing, make it look nicer. And also I see that the brake fluid inside is extra dark. The reason why you should do a brake fluid flush when it's extra dark is because the air humidity, it mixes with the brake fluid, it drops its boiling temperature. And when you don't want brake fluid that's boiling when you're hitting your brakes really hard at high speed, it creates more air pockets and air bubbles, which is gonna decrease the performance of the brake. First thing we have to do is cover everything that's close to the brake fluid reservoir with rags. I'm gonna empty the brake fluid reservoir here almost towards the end before I put the new one. Okay, the process is pretty simple. First, we're just gonna loosen this one up, and then we're gonna loose it from here so we can open it. And look, that's the reason why I don't trust everyone that does a job on the bike. You see how this is? This is not supposed to be that way. You look at the color. This is supposed to sit clear, like this way. Not that deep inside. So I don't know who the guy that was servicing the bike that did the last service at. Pretty sure it wasn't BMW, but this is supposed to look like this. It's supposed to sit this way, and now you can see that it's actually very low. And just suck it out. We're gonna do a full bleed, so won't make that much difference if it's actually fully empty or not. And now you get to take it off. And like usual, we're always excited to start. Forget to put on the gloves. Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna loosen this one up, clamp. So you see how this one sits? That's the way it's supposed to be, by the maximum level, and not the way it was before. So anyways, I'm gonna keep it open. Now there is oil inside, so you have to be very delicate so that you don't spill oil on the cluster or somewhere where it's not supposed to be. And let's put in the new one. Okay, perfect. That was smoother than I expected. I'm gonna put in the clamp for now, but we're gonna have to take it off again just to make sure that it's gonna sit the way we want it, because if we're gonna put it on the handlebar, it's gonna sit that way. I'm gonna have to twist and turn with it, but for now we're good. Now let's move this a bit. We're gonna have to take, so there's a bracket here that the brake fluid sits on. We're just gonna install the handlebar. Yeah, we're gonna install this grip mount that it comes with on the handlebar here. So it's gonna sit this way if we install it on the handlebar. Okay, let's see. Take off this one. So we come to find out that on the M1000 there should be some kind of gap here where, because the extended bracket, it's gonna push. Now it's gonna, where does it come from? Okay, it's again from here. Anyways, so it's gonna push the brake fluid. It's gonna be all the way like this. It's gonna make it uglier than it was. So, and ditch the bracket, and we're gonna have to make it happen on this one. Now luckily it has the same fittings, so it should be fine. Now we're back to square one. Well, now it looks nicer, but it keeps shaking, so let's see what we're gonna do about it. So no matter how tight, it's gonna be the same. So they're plastic O-rings. We're gonna put them on. I think two should be thick enough, one on each side. Perfect. Now to fill it with Liqui Moly brake fluid .4. So this is the setup that we have. Because it's so annoying that this one keeps popping out of its place, so we hooked it up to a rubber band here, make sure that it doesn't move. And because we're alone and we don't have a longer hose, this is going to be sitting this way. I just zip tied it here with a rag behind it. And this way it's not going to move at all. Okay, now start with the bleeding process. Push the brake, back, pump again. Make sure there's no bubbles. See, tiny bubbles came out, just like I've seen one so far. Now, as soon as this is done, gotta keep holding this one tight, and this one we use the rubber bands. I'm not sure why the manual mentions that this has to be tightened with a rubber band halfway through, not all the way, because we're gonna close this one and we're gonna start pumping on the left brake caliper, so we have to remove it anyways. It says tighten it and then remove it, maybe to make sure nothing is depressurized or something. But what we're gonna do is now we're gonna keep it this way. This one is already tight. Gonna remove the hose, close, refill here also to make sure that it's always at the maximum level before we start with the left caliper. So there's a rag here because it's gonna leak like crazy. And dropped everything here. Good thing we have Drugs here. Oh, perfect. We caught all the drops. Make sure it was sealed before you use it, because if it's also humidified, like if it absorbed all the moisture when it was open, you're beating the purpose of doing the brake flush. The left brake caliper is the one that's underneath the clutch lever. Okay, now we're just gonna do the same thing that we did over there. We removed this part already. Connect the hose, connect it to the reservoir, and now the difference here is that we're gonna keep pumping until new brake fluid, the color is gonna change from the old color to the new color, and all the bubbles should come outside if there are some bubbles. I don't think there should be any bubbles. Now what we're gonna do is we connected the hose here. We secured the cable so that it doesn't go out of its spot or spill the oil here that we have. We're gonna keep pumping until the new color of the brake fluid shows up and no more bubbles if there are some bubbles from this side of the brake system. What's gonna happen is after the new color shows up, we're gonna keep pumping just a tiny bit to make sure if there were some bubbles, they're not gonna be anymore. And we're gonna close it every time before we release our hand off of the brake lever. Another important thing to note is that I forgot to do it, and now I'm doing it. So make sure that the brake pads are properly covered, because you do not want any brake fluid to be on the brake pads, because they will become gooey, they become gelish. On the manual, it says to remove the brake pads. They also show a tool that you have to use. I'm gonna put a screenshot here that you should put instead of the brake pads here, and then you reinstall it. Always make sure to keep filling up the reservoir on top so that you don't want any new bubbles to enter the system. And I did this process so that okay, I really do not understand why the bubbles came out. We tightened this one all the way. I was removing the oil just to make sure that it doesn't splash here before when I take the hose out. But for some reason, bubbles started coming out. And that's the first time for me. Okay, no more bubbles coming out. So. Now you can tell that the brake fluid color is not changing. And that is because it did not have enough time to oxidize or absorb any humidity. But we just wanted to do it just because of the way we just saw that they put the rubber band in the brake reservoir, and that I just want to make sure that there are no bubbles at all in the system. So the brakes were working pretty fine, but this is just for the peace of mind and just to keep it out there for how to do the brake fluid.
If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and follow for more similar content. And I will see you in the next one. Peace!